Good evening all. Hope you're doing well, hope you're staying safe. It does look like the US is reaching the top of the curve in terms of new cases of COVID-19 per day. So I want to now look at the implications of opening up the economy early versus the health of people that might be affected if that was to happen. So let's take a look at the news from the last day or so for the US as a whole and for Florida and Orlando. And then we'll return to that question and I'll give you my thoughts on it. As at April the 11th, then we're at 30,003 cases for that day, and that's the best we've done in the US since April the 1st. That hasn't stopped the CDC extending the no sail order for cruise ships for at least 100 days. So that's going to take us to close to the end of June. In 2003, National Institute of Health scientists identified SARS and got a vaccine to stage 1 critical trials in 20 months. For coronavirus, it looks like it will take only 2 months. They have said a vaccine may be available by early to mid 2021. The discussion about when to restart the economy is now gaining momentum. Dr. Anthony Fauci, who has been conservative up to date, is now advocating for some kind of rolling re-entry into the economy as early as next month. But that comes with the caveat that health authorities need to be able to identify and isolate people who have the coronavirus. How viable will that be? President Trump on Saturday said that opening up the economy would be the biggest decision of his life. The president usually isn't shy about giving his opinions, but yesterday he actually seemed quite pained, and it looked like he did have a lot of weight on his shoulders about this, and I'm not surprised. In Florida we had another close to 1,100 cases on Saturday, and it's been like this for about 5 days now. Hopefully we're going to start to level off soon, and the articles I've read give it anywhere between 1 week and 3 weeks until we hit peak. Universal Orlando extended its closure to May 31st in line with Disney. I made a dummy booking on Sunday and it allowed me to do so from June the 1st again in line with Disney. That's no indication, of course, that Universal Orlando will actually be open on June the 1st, but it is encouraging that they're gearing up for a June 1st opening. Walt Disney World is laying off or furloughing 43,000 staff from April the 19th, so a week on Sunday. Whilst that is not good news, some better news is that it's maintaining its staff's health insurance, which is obviously a major concern in the US. Finally, on Saturday, and with I-4's traffic down around 60%, Governor DeSantis has directed work on I-4 to speed up. He wants to see 1 or 2 months taken off the construction period. I'm actually working on the I-4 project, so if I'm allowed, I'll bring you some more news on that when I've got it. You saw President Trump there saying that he had the biggest decision of his life to make, and I believe him. It must be horrible trying to pinpoint a time where he urges the governors of each state to open up the economy, to let people back to work. That I wouldn't want to make that decision, and I'm glad somebody else has to, but when will he make it, and what will be the outcome? You know, he's torn between people getting back to work and then people getting sick again. He spoke about people being free of the disease, immune to it if they'd already had it. There is actually no medical evidence to support that. The evidence that I've read states that you might get some weak immunity to it, you might get none, you might get some, but I've not read anywhere that you will be immune to it. So they were talking about immunity certificates, and I'm not sure how that works if there is no immunity. So what does it mean? How quickly will they get a vaccine? And they're talking about a year to 18 months. We're going to have to go back to work before there's a vaccine ready if that takes a year to 18 months. Because if we don't, the US and any other country that waits that long is going to be in absolute economic turmoil. So I think they're going to pitch it such that there is a staggered opening, a staggered reopening, and I don't know what point on the scale you make that call, how far past the peak curve. Each governor says, okay, my state is ready for reopening, but we're going to open that city, or we're going to open that city, or that county, and we're going to take it from there. Because if they do it county by county, you're still going to get people travelling from county to county. There ain't going to be roadblocks between counties. So how's it going to happen? I think state by state, but even state by state, you're not going to get locked down state by state. Can you restrict movement state by state? Maybe to a degree, but how will that help? If businesses need to recover, then you need to be able to travel, especially in Orlando. So the theme parks cannot be dependent solely on people coming from a little drive away, or even in Florida. You know, it's to get to the Panhandle sort of 7-8 hours, and you're in a different time zone at the end of it. But you've got to let people fly in. Surely you've got to let people fly in if they're going to reopen it. So that's the quandary. Are they going to let economics overtake people's welfare? And I think at the end of it, the answer is going to be yes. But how many people are going to be affected versus how do you help the economy lift out from where it is now to get into some kind of normality? And I don't know. I don't know how they're going to put numbers on that. But when is it going to happen? How far after peak, which is supposed to happen, as I said, within the next week to 3 weeks, depending on which article you read. So if it's a week away, which is 21st of April, does that mean that not the parks, but some parts of resorts can open by the end of May or the 1st of June, which is the date that's kind of been tentatively set by accepting reservations by Disney and Universal on the 1st of June? Can that be done? They're going to have the okay from politicians to enable them to do that. They can't just open up and go against policy that's been set. Jerry Demings, the mayor of Orange County, where Disney pays its taxes, said there could be restrictions till early June, and then there could be a gradual reopening of businesses. So what does that mean? There wasn't anything else apart from those words. There was no flesh on those bones. So will Disney be one of those businesses that opens in a phased manner? You can bet that the big people from Disney will be all over the politicians, urging them to get them back open as soon as possible. So I said only a couple of days ago, I don't think the 1st of June is feasible, but I think a couple of weeks after that might be for opening up resorts. And I could be wrong, maybe it is going to be the 1st of June, but I still think first couple of weeks after that is more viable. And I still think the 1st of July for opening up a park, Magic Kingdom, and for Universal, whichever they want to choose, I don't know. The bottom line, I think, is economics at some point is going to overtake people's welfare, because I think it has to, unfortunately. And people will die, undoubtedly people will die, but it's a terrible situation to be in. As I said, I'm glad I'm not making that decision. I'm glad I'm not one of those people that has to make that decision. But we get the flu every year come round and people die and nothing is said. Everything carries on as normal. Yeah, it's difficult, very difficult. I'm going to keep on top of this if I can, and I'll bring you more as soon as anybody says anything in Florida. At least I'll try and get it out and see if that changes my opinion. Until then, take care everybody, stay safe while all this is going on, and hopefully see you all in Florida soon. Cheers for now, bye bye.